All right, morning, folks. We'll start with the roll call. Wanda?
So Lisa Vincent,
Present.
Mel Blimkey,
Here.
Ryan Vincent,
Present.
John McDonald,
Present.
Ben Oakes,
Here.
Chair, we have quorum.
Wonderful. Wanted, I guess call to order is at 8:06. We'll do our land acknowledgement.
Sorry, what? In my volume on the laptop? Okay.
We'll just wait for the delay here.
Share my screen.
I'm going to keep going. As we gather, we would like to acknowledge on behalf of the downtown Renfrew BIA and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich heritage, rich history. And we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Any declaration of interest this morning? No? Can I have an approval of today's agenda? Lisa and Lorraine, all in favor? Splendid. Any errors or omissions coming from the meeting from December the 9th that anyone have seen? No, looks good. Can I have an approval for those said minutes? Mel, Lisa, all in favor? Thank you. Business arising from the December 9th meeting was the expansion. It's coming later on, isn't it?
No.
No. All right. Well, what's the discussion that, yeah, go ahead.
So it's just to let everybody know that it goes to council tomorrow night
Tomorrow night,
for
yep.
final approval. And then I would like to know if you want to do a next meeting then for next steps. And if you want to form an expansion committee.
Yeah, I think that that's probably the best bet, right? So let's see first what tomorrow brings. And then let's maybe try and set up a meeting after that. Either probably next week. Yeah, go ahead, Councilman.
Yeah, through you, Chair. And Wanda, I think you did up an information package with regard to that. Are we able to attach that later on to this meeting? I don't know if that can be done in terms of the YouTube
I can find
file. Yeah, if we can, we'll attach it. Okay, just at least get it out there.
Yep.
Thank you.
Would maybe a meeting same like this time next week work? Yeah, is that working? We want to keep it at 8 o'clock or 8:30? I'll be selfish and say 8:30.
I was gonna suggest something, Chair, because
Go ahead.
coming up in the agenda, there's something else coming. So if we would be able to call a special meeting for that, and then after that continually, then go right into this.
Works for me. Excellent.
So I would suggest 8 o'clock.
Okay. Okay, then 8 o'clock there, folks. There's gonna be a couple of pieces then. That's just fine. Any specific announcement or?
Sorry, Chair, just to
Go ahead.
realize, I don't think there'll be anyone here from town. We have, we're down in Toronto at Roma. So just to let you know for next Monday.
No problem.
Yeah.
No problem. Thank you. Any announcements? Nothing from you, Wanda?
Nope.
No one else? Wonderful. Mr. Blunkey, can we have a treasurer's report?
Good morning, and happy new year, and thank you. So we're looking at the spreadsheet, we have December's numbers, and with the exception of some some year-end adjustments, because it's going to pretty well look like what the actual has been for the year. If we again just look at broad categories, if we look at admin and ops operations during the month, we spent 59, 29, 10, and then on that expense summary breakdown, it's going to sort of highlight what those are. Some are self-explanatory, as in the salaries. That fee for 244.55 which you see is the mobile phone. That's an annual fee. And going forward next year, we're going to we chatted a little bit between ourselves, Wanda and I, we do a presentation on the numbers for next year. We're just looking at maybe fixing a couple of those expenses. It does take up sort of a whole line for Wanda to consolidate each month. So we're going to look at just having it show up once a year as it does the payment. And I believe there's a couple of memberships that are going to be the same, but going forward, we'll look at that. I do have an exercise sheet for you to just to take away today to have a look and sort of prep the budget that is coming up based on section 26 of the policy. We should be sort of on that right now. Okay, so just to let you know that there might be a little homework involved. Rent 250. We had an expense go through on the office expenses. 152.55 was just a little bit of some patching with Kent through this new AWeber system. We had a small fee to Valley Bites. We had the bank fees go through, and then the $200 that was to the town of Renfrew for the ELF sponsorship for the parade. So looking at the bottom of that, 59.29.10. If we go down to advertising and promotion, we only had $250, and that was our branding influencer that was in town for our shopping event, and maybe we can touch on her at some point and just see what kind of feedback that we were able to get from her. The events and activities, we had Light Up the Square, 1832.24. A lot of that was for actual assets, as in Christmas lights that we'll be able to use again. So that was a good investment there. Gift vouchers, $500. That was the gift certificates or the hello that we were using to promote the event. The 12 days of Christmas, that's $1,200. There's $100 per day for that event. And then we had a redeem voucher for $50. So at the end of the month, we had spent 976,134. And if you just jump to that next column, it's going to give you then what our actual was for the year. You're going to see that we're in a deficit of 4377.25 that would have to come from the reserves. We're going to beat a budget of the 105. That does not take in to account the 25,000 from the town of Renfrew to help offset the salary. Okay. I have first of all, I guess I'll open the floor up to any questions that you may have on that activity that you see. Okay, hearing none, I'll move on then. Again, just for full disclosure, we just highlighted a couple of boxes on that month at a glance. So you're going to see that the gift certificate program, $100 purchases, but we had $100 in redemption. So we still sit with $13.95, which rolls over to the right-hand side, which becomes a liability, meaning that we simply still owe that. Not lots going on. We had some revenue recap. That $100 was for the gift certificates. That shows in that box the bank account opening, debits and credits, and the closing balance. Available funds is in there for you to peruse as well. And then petty cash recap, not a lot going on there. But again, we like to present these numbers just to, I guess, to have, again, sort of full disclosure. I do have, what I'd like to give, if I may, to you there, copy of just a budget worksheet that, again, we talked a little bit about trying to be a little more specific with budgeting next year. Instead of grouping a lot of things like loyalty and branding, glow, this and that, we thought it might be if we could just go through the exercise as a group and see what it is we think going forward we can use in each one of those categories. The loyalty program, we spent you know, it was a fair amount of money last year, but now that it's established, we've freed up funds now to help promote and to support that. So it's really just, I've sort of just copied over what you would have seen on the year end of that worksheet, but I've left the right-hand column. So if you just, if you have comments or you've got some ideas about, maybe some promotion or something that we may have not thought of or that we want to isolate, just so we can have something to compare at the end of the year. Probably be the time that we want to put it in here. But overall, it was I feel a well managed year. We do have a little bit of homework with regards to the reserves and how we should be designating some of that as well going forward. So I guess at this point, I'm happy to answer any questions or concerns or, yes, Captain.
Through you, Chair. Now, how much do we have in reserves?
Yeah.
At this point,
Well,
generally?
it would be the bank balance at this point.
Okay.
So if you want to just take a look on there, it was 55,746. Now, as I mentioned, there are some adjustments onto that at year end. But what you see in the account is basically what's available and what should be earmarked, because really we do have a couple of projects that we do want to spend money on. So we need to ensure that those funds are set aside for those when we're moving forward. And we're still working off of the budget number, and that balance really is just a carry forward of reserves from pre-COVID days, actually, when there was some money not spent because of the unavailable use for community events during that time. So those funds have been brought forward every year. So we'll continue and hopefully be able to tag them for something more specific, so we can make it maybe work for us, instead of having the balance sit there. Thank you.
Anything else? Can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report? Lisa, Lorraine, all in favor? Thank you. Chamber of Commerce report, Wanda?
Okay, so the Chamber Sticker Initiative was a great success. Their next draw is scheduled for June 2025. Their event committee has 4 dates for after hours networking events. So Thursday, February 27th, Thursday, May 29th, Thursday, September 25th, and Thursday, December 4th, from 4:30 to 6:30. More details to follow. The Chamber's annual general meeting and breakfast networking event is scheduled for Tuesday, March 25th, beginning at 7:30 with a breakfast and a guest speaker. More details to follow. They have a call out from members to join their board of directors for 2025-26. Their member to member initiative has had some great response. For each member who has memberships in the executive and business have access to exclusive member to member discounts. The new to the FRU is Wednesday, September 17th at My FM Center. The Pinnacle of Business Awards is going to be Thursday, October 23rd at the My FM Center. And the Renfrew Area Chamber of Commerce is actively conducting a membership drive, encouraging local businesses and professionals to join the network. Memberships provides opportunities for networking, advocacy, promotion, and community engagement. For more details, just contact Gail at the Chamber.
Wanda? Councilman, town report?
Thank you, Chair, and through you. Just for the public's information, we had the new CEO come in prior to starting up this meeting today to introduce herself. Her name is Gloria Raybone. She started May 6th, just last week. She's a specialist regarding finance and treasurer. She's a chartered accountant previously and has conducted audits, and she's policy and procedure driven. And her previous position was a CEO/finance with Tweed. So she came in earlier to introduce herself to the BIA. from Councillor Legree. And myself, we both had a meeting this past week with Director Andrew Bishop of Public Works. We're going to be an improved snow approach for our downtown core, and we'll see how that pans out in the next day or two. Councillor Legree also, he's not here today. He had a previous meeting too. We'll have a meeting this week with the new sale regarding the 2025 summer flower contract and to get that going now that we have our CRO in place. The BIA, if people can make it at the council meeting tomorrow at 5:30, we're hoping for a formal approval with regard to the next steps with regard to it. And I want to throw this out to the BIA membership right now. Apparently, the town did a survey with regard to the Christmas parade, whether it be stationary or moving one. I think there was an internal direction from staff, but as a preemptive thing, I'd like to know, not today, but as we move forward, if you can, when you're talking to your fellow individuals out there in the business community, what direction they would like to see with regard to that, whether it be stationary or moving. And it's again, just to do a preemptive sort of information package before we have to deal with it, okay? So
Good.
That's it. Thank you.
Good, wonderful. Economic and Development Report. Lisa?
Thank you, through you, Chair. Not a lot to report as we didn't have a meeting in November. In December, basically covered off some stuff that's we're going to be working on going forward. Right now, under review is the CIP program for businesses. It affected mostly downtown previously and a few other like green space or brown spaces and that kind of thing. But we're reviewing it as a board right now to see where we kind of want to go forward with that or what the recommendations are for. And obviously the committee is for the entire town, not just the downtown. So that may roll out then to other businesses and it'll be available with that. And the county's looking to maybe match support for any municipalities that are doing a CIP program in some form. Again, that's all sort of up in the air at this point, but yeah, I mean, that's for us, that's probably the biggest thing of impact right now that there's any kind of details on. And just that we continue to want to have a partnership. So we'll filter our BIA information through the Economic Development Committee and vice versa, and I know Sarah's already sent us some links for our membership so that they can see, what's out there and what's going on. So, and our meeting's tomorrow. So hopefully I'll have some more information at the next meeting. So
Great. Awesome, thank you. Event and promotion and committee and working groups. We'll look at the event and who's going to chair our events for next year. Do you want to look after some of that now, or
So through you, Chair, do you want to sit down and have a committee? We know who most of them are. We've only got 3 events with no chairs currently, so I didn't know if you want to have a separate meeting to discuss events and motions. We've got everything, because we did that in 2024. So you just have the Great Downtown Garage Sale with no chair. The music in the square would be a really important one to start lining up musicians and get that sorted. So we need a chair for that, and then a chair for your Sip Shop Saver. The rest were decided previously.
go ahead.
You chair. I'll chair the yard sale myself and Wanda. It's pretty easy. I'll do music. Someone would like to partnership with that.
I'll throw two pieces for the music one, because it's in my personal opinion, just because it's something new, it's kind of an all hands on deck.
Mhm.
So as long as we have someone that's all right, they're going to run the meeting, that's fine. But because it's new, I think we all got to some degree help with that. All right. Okay, so you'll run that one, and then for time, Sip Shop and Saver one. It's a little bit more of a admin sort of role. Not putting this one on you, Wanda. by any means, but maybe we can leave something for, because we are going to be having someone new come onto the board. It would be probably pretty good to leave them something that they can kind of get their feet wet a little bit. And this one would be one that's just a lot of marketing that in organization through Wanda, and it gives them something to get some experience with. Okay. It would be good once we have our budget to come back to this on another meeting, once we have budgets and whatnot, just to kind of circle back. So does that make sense to leave one for the new? Okay. You caught all that?
Good.
Thank you very much. Okay, attraction and awareness board. And I guess the chair, Wanda,
It needs a chair.
it needs a
Yes.
chair. Can I count on you, Mel? Wonderful. You've been a big advocate for it. And again, that's going to be something new. So to some degree, I would probably say it'll be in all hands. But if you want to run that one, wonderful. Downtown map. I've got Lorraine here. You want to speak to this?
Sure.
Okay.
Through you, Chair, it's kind of been on a little bit of a halt at this point. I think one of the things in the back of my mind was not to go full steam ahead until we knew what was going on with the expansion. To start something to correct it instantly, or update it, I should say. But I know Wanda has reached out to some different businesses and possible designers into that. So I would like to meet. I did speak with a local business slash artist that I was hoping, but it's not quite in his wheelhouse, which is fine, but he did suggest some really good ideas that I think they could kind of partnership the map and the attraction awareness board, and potentially some locations in town, kind of like a little bit of a partnership of the map with a QR code, which would make it easier to update, maybe advertise it, the map with that information more accessibly to people than just the pamphlet. So I think that's something that we could talk about in another special meeting for sure, in more detail, and again, along with the awareness board.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think the two really kind of go hand in
I
hand.
think once after tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then we can move ahead a lot stronger, the map.
Okay. Any questions to any of this from the event aspects? Anything really to add? No, we're pretty good. Wonderful. We'll move into new business. The procedural bylaw, the first review. Wanda?
So I sent you everybody the first review. If anyone has any additions, changes. I know Sarah sent me some bits, so I've changed some of it. I have to finish changing the rest. Does anybody have anything they would like to add to it?
Through you, Chair, page 8, at the top of page 8, Wanda, I think it should also include services on the top of that page. It does talk about a range of shops, restaurants, cultural events, recreational opportunities. I think, especially with us expanding our border, or to hopefully expand the border, we do have a number of services, actually, which is the majority of the businesses downtown. So I think that would make them feel more inclusive, and if it was in the policy, it would be nice to see.
I had.
Yep.
For your chair, I had a question now, but you have this hard copy. Can I look at that for a moment, please? It was in notification 4.43. It said giving notice for 24 to 48 hours. I wasn't sure if that meant 24 to 48 hours, or if it's supposed to just be 48 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, under notifications in 4.4.3, it says we shall deliver electronically via email to the downtown Renfrew BIA membership to their respective email address, minimum of 24, but then in brackets it then says 48 hours. So I wasn't sure if that was.
No, that's a mistake.
That's a mistake.
Mhm.
Okay. So it is 48 hours?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Obviously not for me.
So through you, Chair, what I would like to do is make these changes, send it back out to you. You call a special meeting Monday. You do the second final review and adopt and done.
Okay. Yeah, that's making some sense.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, well, we'll look for that, email shortly. Mel?
Through you, Chair, I'd just like to take a moment to personally thank Wanda, who has spent a lot of time with the partners in the town here to put together and update this document. It has been something that I believe the BIA has been lacking for a number of years, and now with some guidance and some a game plan in hand, we can now move forward and get back our Wanda to promote the downtown. So well done. Thank
Yeah,
you.
well said, Mel.
Thank you.
Thanks. Right, 2025 budget.
Okay, obviously, through your chair, sorry, we can't do the budget yet. We can start looking in the back of your packs. I've sent you what this past year's budget was. So it'll give you something to as a guideline going forward. Because after council tomorrow night, it's something that I'm still trying to find out the timeline we have to have this in, but I'm thinking like end of January, we need to have a budget in. So there may be another meeting coming up that's specifically budget.
Wanda, do you have a soft copy of this?
Yep.
Can you send that out again?
Yep.
I know that we have it, but just so that it's,
Yep.
I don't have to go hunting for it.
Yep.
It'll just be a little bit easier sometimes on work from a soft copy. AGM. Wanda, did you want to touch on that or
Do, through your chair, do we need a chair for the AGM, somebody to start organizing, getting it ready, or do you want me to continue doing that?
First, I'll go first personally. I don't want to reinvent the wheel sometimes. You've got a good handle on it, and if you need help, by all means, just ask me and I'll give you a hand with it. But
By the AGM, I mean the presentation.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna be presenting.
let's is there, I'd have no problem sharing that because I'll probably be the one speaking at it, right? Everybody good if Wanda and I find a time personally together and we just start putting some pieces together, and then from the administration side she can handle that and we go for, is that okay?
Mhm.
All right, wonderful. Moving along then, the welcome package.
So again, through you, Chair, I know we wanted to create a welcome package. I did find an old one the BIA had, and I've found some that other BIAs have. So whether you want to have somebody work on that with me, or do you want me to just start creating and present?
I'll go first. I think that would be a good one to leave for the new person as well. Because I think that that's going to be something that even if it's only really done for the new to the fru or something, right? Oh, sorry, you're talking welcome package as in welcome to the new.
Welcome packages to welcome that we'll go out to business that
business.
comes or.
Sure, my mistake. Lisa?
Through you, Chair, I would like to see the new person involved in this because they're going to be being brought up to speed as to what we do, but I really think one of our long in the tooth members should probably participate in it who, you know, have the background to assist at least. I'm happy to know.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. Wonderful. Speaking of then, our vacancy.
So a report had to go to council, and that goes to council tomorrow night, and then we will be instructed after that what our next step is
Okay,
with regards to the vacancy.
okay. Fair enough. We're doing great on time here. I just wanted to touch base on email process and timings. Mainly because the email that I sent out, when was that? Well, it was last week, and I had made a note that I had prepped that at like 12, because that was when I got around to it. We're gonna have someone new come on, you know, yada yada. We have somebody that's in from, you know, the 9 to 5 sort of role, right? And we know that that's kind of business operational time, but are we okay? Because I almost forgot to even send the email, and I just knew, okay, I got to come and I'm meeting with Wanda. Are we all right with those type of emails? That, you know, maybe not so much at midnight, right? But it's on. I would not be expecting anyone to reply to me at that point, right? That's just when I'm able to finally get to it. I'm sending it, and you know, it's the next business hours of when that concept, right? I wouldn't mind just having a family chat with it. Seeing the hand here.
Through your chair,
Go ahead.
I'm someone who understands, because with my business, I cannot check my email. Well, I actually check it quite often, but very quickly, and in those moments, I've read things and forgot, and then you get home, and yes, I understand that it's 6, 7, 8 once you're done family duties. So I personally feel that it is okay, amongst ourselves. I don't feel like that we're gonna send out professional emails maybe to outside parties or to our members. That's one, right?
Yeah.
And again, as long as it's not offending anyone, I do not expect a response at 8 o'clock at night, but sometimes that's when I get a moment to reply to such things. As long as your phone's not dinging or waking you up from email notifications, I have no problem with it at all.
Okay. I think, you know, it was also just to have that family dialogue, you know. I don't want to inundate you guys as well on emails, right? It I'm personally okay with, you know, there's something that's come up, and maybe something's come up. I personally haven't heard, and it stays within the family. Okay, we have extended family being town, but it stays with, let's say, the 5 of us and Wanda, to ensure then that communication, maybe Wanda just hasn't gotten a chance to tell me about that. And I'm wondering, have you heard about it? Right? We're keeping out of their mailboxes, and then Wanda can then kind of gatekeep to it. Does that make some sense? That instead of email everybody, and then, because I'd also just like to be kind of aware on just what do we need to reply all to, right? Because what, there's 10 of us. If when we need to, she lets us know, hey, like, we all have to kind of have a say on, you know, this one, right? But just to have that conversation of, I've almost read it. You don't have to be replying all, and then you've got 12 different emails that have come in, and you didn't even need to be a part of it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I'm just trying to keep that one, opposed to maybe just hearing it once that she's let you know. Hey, it's the beginning of the year. I'd also like maybe, you know, talk with Wanda. We have code of conduct stuff. This is the time just to bring this up again, right? We take it every year. This is our little reminder that, you know, here's our little due diligence to these pieces, right? And I just want to be on the same page, just so that anything that's coming in, because she's probably already heard about it, or if she hasn't, then she can be sending, you know, and directing. Are we okay with that?
Chair, through you, and I can't speak for Councillor Liberty, but I have no problem. I don't have notifications on, so I get to
Okay.
the emails when I get to them.
Okay.
And So I'm fine with
Okay,
getting everything. It doesn't bother me. It's part of the job as far as I'm concerned, so.
one piece that we did, back in the day with Imperial is that we did have a subject line. Through looking for. Okay, yeah, almost like a legend on, and we knew just what it, I don't think we have to get to that, right, by any means, but just to, I'm just trying to make sure that, one, it's okay to send emails outside, because that's when we get to, get to them sometimes. But then we also just know, well, we're not gonna get a response, but I don't want to be inundating you guys, and we just want to make sure that everything is running through Wanda first, right? So if we've got something, even, it might even be just, hey, Wanda, have you heard of this? And it's just a straight email from me to her, and we take that approach. And does that sound like, am I going too far, Wanda, with like worrying about it, or is this going to help you at all?
Well, it
Honestly.
It doesn't affect me, but there was an email last week that I would have had the answer to, and it went out to everybody instead, when I could have just,
Handled it.
yeah, I was already looking into it, so,
Yeah.
because I'd had an email from a business member.
I think, I know I've been in that position before as well, right? And one is, tried to, hey, let's, right? So, it's just the beginning of the year. Just wanting to get on the same page. Lisa?
Through you, Chair, I agree. I mean, I don't think that we need all this chatter necessarily. If it's a question, Wanda's our gatekeeper. So if you have a question that's come to your attention from a member or something you've heard from an outside partner that you maybe want to clarify, I think any one of us could send an email to Wanda and just say, hey, heard this. And then Wanda can at that point make the decision whether that should be going out to all of the board. And when Wanda sends out an email that goes to everyone, I think we can safely assume that at that point, if you are going to reply, you reply all. If it's already gone to everybody. But again, as I say, if it's one little thing that's come to your attention, especially if you happen to be, say, the chair of that committee, I don't think there's a problem with having that communication with Wanda, because she is our regulator. She's going to tell us if this needs to go out to everybody. So I'm sorry to put that on you, Wanda, but she certainly is the one who's most knowledgeable about what can and can't be shared. So
Awesome. Okay. There's nothing else on our agenda. Looks like I'm able to give time back. So Merry Christmas. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Lisa and Lorraine. It's 8:45. All in favor? Carried. Thank you.